Today's session is going to be about how to create your own views within SharePoint. There are multiple views within SharePoint. There's default views that have been created to show certain information. Some libraries have all items view, so it shows all items. The default views have set filters to only show certain things to display. And then there's selectable views that are preset in there that were created for different filters that are applied to those views. So more or less to get what information you are looking for, specifically for your depots per se, you can just set up your own view to pull that information. So, for example, I'm going to go to multiple attempts, because that is a hot library. That's a library that everybody uses and pulls their data, pulls the information daily. So to create your own view within this library, it might help you out and speed up processes, get you the information you're exactly looking for. So when we get into the library here, I will show you how to create your own view based off of your depots or even carrier if you want to go that far. If you guys are looking for JB Hunt, everything that's JB Hunt, stuff to that extent. Even regional like West Coast, if you know all the depots, JB Hunt and West Coast, you can select it by that too. So in this library, you have the views listed here. You have the ellipses, and you have all the other views that are usable that have been preset in here. If you scroll all the way to the bottom, you can create your own view. Now, also, I have modified this view. If and when you create your own view, you'll be able to modify that view too. So these two options will be listed here in the ellipses at the bottom of all the views listed. Also, you can go up to the List tab, or the Secondary tab, and up here you can modify your view, and you can create a view. So we're going to use this. Click on Create View, and you can create a standard view, a calendar view, a data sheet view, and basically what a data sheet view is, it looks like an Excel spreadsheet. It looks like what multiple attempts view looks like, with the individual cells, all the squares with the data within them. And then we have a Gantt view, and you won't be able to do this because you guys don't have SharePoint Designer. So these four you can select if you want to create something fresh, something brand new, or you can start with an existing view. So say we use Depot View, but you have to go in there and you have to set your filters and then do the export and stuff to that extent. So we'll use the Depot View as our template per se. So we'll select Depot View. So then over here, you're going to name it whatever you want to name it. If you want to name it San Bernardino View or San Bern, MA, yes. So it's going to automatically default as I'm an admin so I can create public views, but it automatically defaults to make it a personal view. You won't have the ability to do this, make this your default view. It only applies to public views. So right here, it'll be created a personal view. Now, these are all the columns that are listed for that library. You can select, you can display what columns you want on your view, what you want to see. And then this is the position of the column where it's listed within the library itself, starting from the left. So starting from the left side of the screen, we'll have depot location, and then we'll have delivery date, and we'll have inspection type, title, doc, truck stop, article, so on and so forth. We'll go right across left to right. And that's the position where you want it. Now, you can use a drop down, and you can select what position you would like one of these columns to be in. But once you select the position, let's say we want it in position 4, it'll orient everything underneath it to be number 2 now, number 3, and then number 4 is up here, and then you got 5 down here. So you won't have 2 4s, you won't have 2 7s, multiple. So depending on where you want everything, you can select where you want to place it. So we'll keep this at 2. Now put us back at 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, all the way down. And again, there's all these other columns that are listed that you may want to incorporate in your view if you would like. But they don't have check marks next to them. If you check one, so we have DOD here. And that's going to show up at the bottom or the far right of the library now because it's on the bottom. Yes, it says 28, but you don't need to change that to say 19 because it'll automatically, once you save this, it'll automatically put it at the top here with everything else. Because it's the one thing that's checked off. So anything you have checked off on this side, it would move it automatically up in the position of the view once you modify it again. But once you save it and you come back into it, so you want to modify the view, all that stuff that you checked off will be back up towards the top and it'll have its precise position number listed here. Now down here you have the sorting area. So how you want your information sorted, and right now, because we're using an existing view that already is set up, this is sorted by delivery date. So with the oldest delivery date is at the top. If you want to do it vice versa, you can switch it, where you have the newest delivery date on the top. You can always play around with this by modifying the view. Once you make a view, if it doesn't come out the way you want, you can always go back into it, modify it, and mess around, keep on switching things around, stuff to that extent. Also, you have a secondary sorting. So we have sort by delivery date. We can do sort by saved routes. Let's see. Ship to truck numbers. So now it's going to sort by truck numbers on top of delivery date. So we're going to have oldest delivery date at the top with the truck numbers. The highest or the lowest number first. So if it's San Bernardino, we're going to have San Bernardino 1 first with its delivery date. Anybody have any questions so far?
No questions.
Very good. So down here with the filters, these are your filters. These are what's going to filter the information that you want to display. So again, we're using an existing view, a view that is already in play that has filters set on it, but these filters aren't narrowed down to what everybody wants to see. So as of right now, the depot view only shows you stuff that is less than 4 days plus today plus 4 days. So anything from right now, that's today plus 4. So 4 plus today, what's today, the 12th? So the 16th. So anything that's greater than, or sorry, less than the 16th. So that's what that is saying right there. Anything that's less than the 16th, display it. and then anything that's greater than today, display it. So you have that range of today's date and the 16th. So anything that happens between those days, that date range, display it. So that's what that is saying. And then also we have verified inspection. If it says no, display it. So that says equal to. You can always have not equal to, so it shows you everything. So if we said not equal to, let's say yes. It's just like the same filter. So it'll still show us the no's. And then we have down here, validation, if it's, we can put this one as yes also. And today's date plus 5. So 5 days from now is the 17th. That incorporates, that helps out with Monday deliveries that you guys are verifying on Fridays. So that's why we have these two different filters in here. Now, you can add multiple filters, but the filters have to be in sequence. As you see this section right here, these three are together, and then you have an OR, and then these three are together. So the and the ORs, you got to play around with them. You got to figure them out to get the precise information you want. You couldn't do validation inspection is yes, is not equal to yes, and then put the 4 day in today, and then put and delivery date less than 5 days and today. It'll throw the whole filter off, and it'll show you no data. So if you want to utilize the same information, but you want different days or different information, but you're looking in the same column, you have to put that OR in there. So, for example here, we're going to use San Bernardino. So we're going to have to redo these filters, and it's basically just swapping it around. We're going to take this, make it into an AND, change that into an OR. We're going to say, is equal to, and then we have to go and we have to make the secondary one, so we made an OR, so we have to go back to the inspection verification, inspection verified, or verified inspection, yep. Is not equal to, and we'll put yes here. And the delivery date is less than today plus 5, and delivery date is greater than, less than or equal to, greater than today. Now, when you use these brackets and today, it's always going to do today's date. Now, if you want specific days, if you put a certain date in here, if you want to change it every day, if you want to set up the filter to have every day, you would have to go in here every day and modify your view to show the information that you want to see. So if you only want to see today's multiple attempts, per se, you would put 12, 12, 19. So this would say is equal to, and then you would put 12, 12, 2019. And that would be, and that would only show the multiple attempts for today that weren't verified. for San Bernardino. So using the brackets with today, and then we'll do plus the 5, so it's the 17th because it's 5 more days. So it's counting 5 days from today, so it's the 17th. So we'll do less than or equal to. Add another filter. Make that and location equal to San Bernardino. So you can set up filters upon filters upon filters. You can keep on adding columns, adding filters as much as you want. But just keep in mind and be mindful of the and the ors. Make sure if you're using 2 of the same filters, because right now we're using a delivery date and verify inspection, you would have to put an or in between them. So you get the information that you want. You can't be, per se, utilizing that any other way by putting an and in between them. Make sure there's an or in between. And again, it's just playing around with the filters. Once we commit to this, we hit OK, we don't get any information. We'll go back into the filters and check them. And then see what we can manipulate to make what we want to display. So down here now, you have totals. You can have a total number if you want. You can have a number displayed. So these are all the columns that have been selected at the top up here. All these things that have selected, you can make a count off of them. So we have the columns here. So let's use quantity, and we can do a sum of all the quantities that are there, and it'll give us a number at the top of the library and tell us right where that column is. It'll tell us the number. It'll give us the sum of the pieces that are within that view. So if that's something you're interested in getting, you can use that. Just hit the plus and minus sign to open that up to get the information. And then you have item limit. And usually you can't go more than 500 items in one view. So usually do 100. So you'll have 100 items in a view, and then you have to go to like the next page. On the bottom of the library, you'll see something that says 1 to 100. And then an arrow to the left and an arrow to the right. You click the arrow to the right, and then it'll say 101 to 200 on the bottom of the page, depending on how many items are in the library. But usually we do 100 limit. 500 is the max. Anything past that, it times you out because it's too much data trying to import into that view. So 500 is the max. But 100 is good to go with. So after all that, we'll hit OK. And it will create our view with nothing in it. So I'm thinking that San Bernardino did multiple attempts and they verified them all. So that's why there's nothing in this view, because the multiple attempts are verified already. Am I correct for saying that? Anybody from San Bernardino on the phone?
Oh, I don't.
Let's check. So I just changed the filter. So the verified inspection is now equal to yes. So if it says yes, it'll show us the information. And it's not. Let me just check. So the information, oh, it's depot location. That's the filter I want. That's the column. All right. So now I just created that view, and the view that you create is going to be on the top of the ellipses, or also it's going to be the first one. So I have created quarterly review. I created that view as one of my views also. So this is a personal view for me. So that view is going to be listed up here once you create it. So it's going to be the second view listed on the top of the library as when you guys go into the library, when you create your own view, it'll already be on the top of it. So it's clickable there. Or if you have multiple views that have been created by you, you'll have second or third one listed in your ellipses here. So up here in the list tab, or the secondary tab that's in the ribbon, for the views, you have the drop down, you'll have the default view, you'll have your personal views, and then you have all the public views. So here's the two personal views that I did create. So we're going to go back into the San Bernardino multiple attempt view, and then we're going to go and modify it. And come down to location. So it's depot location, it's not location. Depot locations, and this one is depot locations. And I still have it as yes. So again, it's playing around with the view, it's figuring out exactly what is needed to be displayed, and this should do it. So this is all San Bernardino's multiple attempts that are not verified. So as you see here, we'll look at the drop down. They're all no's. So the verified inspection is all no's. The depot location is only San Bernardino. So anytime I go into this view, I'll get multiple attempts for San Bernardino for tomorrow or previous or earlier days. It'll only show me earlier days prior to today that have not been verified. So that's what that view is created for. So anytime you guys want to go and make your own view, you always have that view as you see up here. So if I go to new items, or all items, those views will be listed as my personal views will be listed at the top. So they're easier access to utilize them. So I have the quarterly review and the San Bernardino MAs. So those two views I have created. So if I go into San Bernardino's multiple attempts, it automatically pulls that information right there. Anybody have any questions?
Yeah, so you said once that view is created, it's permanent in there. It's always going to be there, and it's going to update automatically once we go in, to say for tomorrow. That view will stay there once we have that created.
Yes, once you create a view and you save it, that view will always be with your user, as this is me up here. So this says Mike Steele on this corner up here at the top. Anytime you log in and you're in SharePoint, all the views you create will save into your profile into those libraries. So once you create this view, every time you go to SharePoint, that view will be accessible. Now, like I said, you got to use that today in the brackets for date range. If you want a certain date, you got to put the date in. But if you want it to reoccur every single day with a different date prior to today, so if you wanted to see stuff that's, if things are put in here, so for multiple attempts are put in here a day early, so you'll see tomorrow's or you'll see Mondays on Friday or Saturday. You'll see those dates by using today plus 4 plus 5, because it makes it look like today is 5 more days ahead. If you do minus, like minus today, if you only want to see stuff that was 5 days old, you would do minus 5 days from today. So playing with that date, with that today, in the brackets, it's going to be helpful to see what you want to see. But also you can always go in there and modify the view to show a specific date. You could always change it to say only show me the stuff for the 13th today, and you'll always see the stuff for the 13th. Anytime you open that view, unless you change it, you'll see stuff for 12/13. So setting up those filters is basically utilizing the filters that you have that you can use in the columns anyway. So let's say I only wanted to see stop 10s. So if I select this, I put a filter on stop 10s, but now if I want to go into the view and modify it, we're going to modify view. I'm going to add a column. Go to stops. Stop numbers are equal to 10. I'm going to make that and. You only see stop 10. So instead of utilizing the filter within the library, that filter can always be set within the view itself. So you automatically open that view, you have what filters you needed set. Got some aha moments? Some people are going to be creating their views now?
Yeah, it's the time curve for sure in the morning.
So, like I said, all libraries, any library, you can create your own view in any library. If you don't get any information, it's either your filter is not reading correctly, being that you didn't put the right information in, you're using the and or the or incorrectly. So it's just playing around with it, and once you got a precise of how you want it displayed, you'll be good with the view, and that view will be saved, and you can utilize that view every time you go into that library. Anybody else want to see a different library creating a different view? Maybe a view from scratch from a different library? I can even make a public view if you want. If you know of a library that you always use and you wish there was a public view for it so all your depots could use it. I'll open up delivery. You can see all the different libraries.
The views that can be created, that can be any type of like multiple tabs. It's Kudos complaint. You can do anything that's in SharePoint. You can make one of these view findings, correct?
Yeah, yeah, you can make any view in any library. You can create, like, per se, let me go to customer care, because I am not an admin of customer care. We're just going off the books here. I am not an admin of customer care, so I don't have full control of customer care. So if I want to go into a library in customer care, and I can go up here, and this is just a random library with this one's in the stores. So I can create my own view. Even though I'm not an admin, I'm not per se able to or utilize or whatever the case may be. I'm not an admin of this site. So I can create my own view right in here, select the current view, I can name it my view. I'll use the existing. They don't have any sorting. There's no filters. Let's say maybe DC1. So look here, DC. So okay, so it goes by 30s. So here's my view. So all items. Here's my view. And I'll modify it. Back down here and show 3,000. Zip codes in 3,000. So that's my view right here. These are all the zip codes that are within the 3,000 DC area. Whatever loads. Right, a lot of zip codes. But yeah, so any library, anywhere, you can make your own view. So for instance, let's go to Coolest in the Plains. It's going to take a while.
That's exactly where I wanted you to go, because I want to see. Because sometimes when we're going through Coolest and Complaints, I want to be able to get to the most recent Coolest and Complaint, not have to scroll through the whole library.
What depot you at?
Fullerton.
Fullerton. All right. So again, is there a specific view that you utilize already, or you just use the main view, the all items view?
Right now, I'm looking at I just break it down by depot, and then from there, I look at the actual complaint. So if I can break it down to where it's the date, the most recent date, and what the actual complaint is by our depot, then I can go, and get my information.
But is there a view that you already use, or you just once you open the library, you start setting your filters on the certain columns, and then you export from there?
Exactly. Once it opens, I just go with it from there.
All right. So there are other views within here that you might be able to use that will eliminate some filters that you would have to apply. For instance, the West Coast region. So if you select that, it's only going to show you the depots for the West Coast. So that might eliminate some pulling of information. So right here, we can just select, these are all the depots, only the depots that are on the West Coast. So for instance, Fullerton. Show all those, and then you have your delivery date, and you said you want to see the most recent, or the oldest?
Or the most recent. All
right, so your most recent one is from 11/2, and then you have 9/21 here, 8/16. So these are basically how you would pull it for Fullerton right here. But if you want to create your own view, I'll walk you through it. So we're going to create, we're going to not modify, we're going to create, and we're going to use existing, let's say West Coast. Call this full. Personal, it's already going to be preset. We want all these columns. And then we're going to sort by delivery date. And we're going to see the current, most recent one. So it's going to be descending. So it's going to show you the most current one. If you want to do it by truck number, again, you can sort how you want it. So if you want truck numbers in a sequence, so it's not sporadic, it's not all over the place. Truck at the top. And then put those complaints, drivers, regions, West Coast. And then we're going to add another column. And basically, we can take this region one out. We'll just call the region one instead of that. Depot equal to. And you can leave, you can add columns. As long as they say none in them, they won't do anything to the view. But if you have something there other than none, it will filter what is, so if it says equal to nothing, it's going to filter by that. So most likely you won't get any information. So if you utilize multiple columns and you don't want to use all these, just keep them as none. And once you save it, it'll disappear from this filtering section. All right, so get that. Totals. We don't need totals. Item limit to 100. Hit OK. And then there's all our kudos and complaints. And it's in, again, descending order automatically. So you have your newest one up here. And they just go down the date range. And we have the different truck numbers. These are all drivers' complaints. Or just Fullerton. So if we go here, we'll just have Fullerton here. We have no other depots listed in this location, in this view. Does that help out?
Much, very much. Appreciate it.
So again, we'll go to the library. And so we're in the main view. And here's our Fullerton view. So if you click on that, it'll just bring you right to all of Fullerton's driver complaints. So again, if you're using the main view, it's not all items. Yep, main view. If you're using this and importing data or filling the sheet in, this is set up as a data sheet view. So you can manipulate the information in each cell. So if that's what you utilize, if that's what you mainly use when you're doing your kudos and complaints, you want to use this existing view and make it like yours. So if you're setting filters on this main view, you should just create your view off of this main view. So I'll do another one, walk you through it again. And we'll call this one 2. We're going to keep all the columns because we use those columns for the main view. You said you want to sort it, and we'll sort it by delivery date, the newest one, sort by truck and stop. We got kudos complaints by driver, and we can put depot equal to full.
Okay. Stop right there. I'm sorry. I was trying to write down those parameters. No, you had delivery date, then you had truck stop. And I was trying to see what was those bottom parameters.
Yep, I'll get back into it. So, modify the view. So yeah, the kudos or complaint is not equal to driver complaint. And, sorry, you want to use that and, depot is equal to full. So Fullerton.
Is there any way you can slide that screen back up a little bit so I can get that first top piece? So I can make it.
All the columns? Well, again, when you create your own view, like, when you go through it, you're going to click on create your own view.
Right. Then you name it.
No, you're gonna get to this screen, and you're gonna start from an existing view. So since you use the main view, that's the main view. That's the view that always displays. That's a default view. And if you're using that view all the time and you're setting your filters and you're doing all that hunky-dory stuff on the library, use that view and then set your filters down below when you set it up. So like I selected the main view to start from existing. So you're going to start with your main view. And all that information that's on the main view is already here selected for you. So you don't have to select the columns. You don't have to do anything to the columns. The column order is just like the main view. So you're kind of mirroring the main view, but you're setting your filters in the view. So once you open the view, you don't have to set any filters. It just automatically pulls the information for you that you already selected. So again, down here in the filter section, you want to keep the kudos and complaints not equal to driver complaint, and select depot equal to full. And if you really want to get down to it, we can also put, where's the comment? Comments, what happened? Depot, where's the RDM depot? Right? Yep, RDM depot comments. And if it contains nothing, it's going to show it. So if you haven't filled in your comments or comments haven't been filled in, it'll show just those. Oh, I didn't name it. Did I make it or? Nope, it's an and. RDM contains equals to. Can't do that. be greater than text box. So again, you got to play with it to get the precise information you want. Again, it's not showing it. It's blank. Teams. Just not worry about that yet. I'm going to get back to you on the blanks. Is there any blanks? I don't think there's any blanks. I think you filled them all in. Oh, there's a blank. Okay. So this right here is mirroring the main view, but only having the filter of Fullerton. So it's only showing Fullerton Depot.
Got it.
And then, per se you made a view and you totally screwed it up, you can't figure it out, you can't figure out what you did to it, you can always delete that view. You go into Modify, and we can delete it. And it only deletes the view, it doesn't delete the library, it doesn't delete anything else, it doesn't delete the information that's in the library. Don't be afraid to delete your views. If you messed up and you can't figure out what the filters are doing and you want to start fresh, make a new one, delete the old one. Simple as that. We'll go into this one, delete this one too, modify. Make sure that you select your view when you're modifying that view. You have to select it. You have to make sure it's in bold and blue. That's the view that you're modifying. And you guys won't have access to modify public views, so don't worry about if you're in a public view, you won't be able to modify it. So we'll delete this view again. Anybody else want to see a library or how to make a view in a certain library? We got home damage claims, we got multiple attempts, trailer tracking, chargeback photos. Everybody good on views?
I think we're good.
You guys have any questions? If you make a view and you're not sure what you did or what happened to it or whatever the case may be, feel free to reach out. I'm available. I help you guys out. Creating these views do help you very much. Creating your own view will help you a lot. Saving time, saving energy, saving frustration, stuff to that extent. SharePoint's big. SharePoint has a lot of information. Just knowing how to filter it and how to view what you need to see. So if you guys don't have any other questions, if you're good, I am going to conclude this meeting. And I will talk to you guys next month.
All right. Thank you very much. You have a Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays.
Hey, you do the same. See you next year.
All right. See you next year.